Oh, we can't go live. This live. All right, all right. Let's see if we're in there. Are we up running? I guess it's a little delay. Yeah, we live. Okay. Great, 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 great. Power and Profit family, Uncle Jocelyn Neb. What's going on to everyone? Shalom. All the wonderful greetings that you guys subscribe to. My best to you all. Power and Profit again. All right, so just jumped on really quick here, guys. I really don't have a lot of time. I kind of got postponed from the Friday discussion that we was going to try to do a quick little breakdown on being able to kind of assess and look at level 2 and read the different aspects when you seeing bears and bulls mixed into a bid spread scenario. So again, we're going to restructure that, postpone that to possibly sometime throughout the weekday, so we can have the adequate time to kind of hit that and go over that like we said. So, but while I do have a little time here, I want to do a quick little market update and probably look at a couple of tickers and get off, because I don't really have a lot of time. I really don't. I guess I should just wait overall, but I feel like if I don't do it now, later on, it's just going to be a wreck, because I got still a ton of things to do around the home. Was up early this morning, obviously doing a lot of stuff as well. Still got more to do, unpacking and so forth on and all that. So again, I'm just humbled and honored to being you guys present, as I always am. You guys know how I am. Y'all know my disposition. I like to go hard when I can and help wherever I could, and can as well. So power and profit to you all, and my best again to your weekend and your families. And again, our journey, looking forward into this week of trading the markets, right? The global financial markets. And again, we had a great week last week for some of you guys, and some of you guys obviously learned a lot from last week. You had a couple mistakes here and there, but you realize the power in that mistake, which is going to make you a better trader. Again, being able to assess your situation, recon that scenario properly, then come back at it a different angle, so that way you come out profitable on the back end. So again, this is a wonderful scenario. As we always say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So you take the bumps and bruises like anybody else. It should not ruin or crush your opportunities to feel like you can be successful at trading or investing. Just realize that it's just a part of the game. It's a part of being in the landscape. Again, there's no such thing as a stock that goes continually up, and no such thing as no stock that goes continually. Well, some stocks can go continually down, right? But again, for most cases, if they're a legal, legit company that has some kind of value, then 9 times out of 10 it's going to bounce and retrace at some point or reverse. So, with that being said, again, we're just looking for the assets that's going to offer us the best opportunity. So, as traders that are, we feel like our prerequisite is price action or volatility, right? If there's no price action or volatility, then there's pretty much no movement. It's a stalemate between the bulls and the bears. So again, one of the key factors you want to always look at is looking for price action, right? You're looking for solid ATR, average trading range, things of that nature. So again, we want to put ourselves in that best position to reap the benefit of a good reward when an opportunity presents itself. All right, so just doing like a quick little mental recap of some of the stocks we took this week that were very, very profitable. Again, it was a great week. Again, we had some people hit some all-time highs or personal best within their best weeks ever in the market. And every time you see something like that, it's just exciting. It's contagious, right? For me, it's definitely contagious. I don't know anyone else, I'll speak for anyone else, but for me, every time I see someone's hitting a goal or exceeding their personal best, I just get more and more excited. It's like, man, come on, man, this is exciting. Why everybody else, are not there yet, so to speak? And I know everybody's journey, takes time, and we're relevant of that pretty much. So again, and we're cognizant of that, so we understand. But in due time, we all will get there together, so to speak. That's the mentality, right? It's like the Martin Luther King speech. We all get there together. The promised land is around the corner, literally, literally. For a lot of us, again, this is a journey of financial freedom. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. It is a game changer on epic level. And if you do not think so, you are in the wrong sector, in the wrong room right now. I guarantee you that, because everything we speak about over here is positive upliftment, empowerment, economic, expansion, financial literacy. I mean, it's endless. There's no cap on what we're going to be able to do to be successful. All right. So with that being said, again, let's get some of the housekeeping out the way. It's all about mentality. All right. Y'all know my biggest thing. I'm a big psychological trader. I love psychology and trading because it matters. Having a strong disposition, understanding what's relevant, what's just garbage and trash, and you making sure you balance out the both so you can make the best effective trade. day over day, especially if you're day trading or swing trading, whatever. All right, so real quick, just do a quick little roll call. I see some family starting to come in. Hey, what's going on, family? Dan, I see you in the house. Over, good to see you. Always over, Chris. I see you, family. You already know, Power and Profit family. All right, I see my family Fish in the house. Thank you for stopping by, family. Hey, thank you, family Jackson O'Leary. Hey, I'm a humble brother. Trust me, I'm so humble. It's just ridiculous. Thank you for that, though. I'm humble. I'm humble. And Power and Profit to you, because you just as much of a killer at this as anyone else too. All right, I see my family DB in the house. Thank you for stopping by, family. I see my Ober Gordon in the house. Thank you. You already know. You already know, family. Growth. That's all I can say. Growth. You're on your way, family. All right, I see my family. All messages you're seeing appear publicly. I see you in the house, family. Thank you for stopping by. All right, and got a few people, a few others stopping by here and there too. Again, that's probably watching. Again, I know it's a busy weekend for some of you guys. You got things to do. You got chores to handle. Again, you got your wife and the girlfriend or the husband, whomever, kind of cracking the whip on your back like Ryan is. So a little bit, I get it. But thank you guys for stopping by for just for a second. Really, again, like I said, I don't have a ton of time, but I do want to make the best of the little time I do have before I have to, jump up abruptly, possibly, and go handle some business. All right. So what's going on, family? Toriano, I see you. I see you, family. Thank you for stopping by, family. Thank you. All right. OCS in the house. You already know it, right? That's it. We gotta come up with a little signal for that or something. OCS or something. I don't know, some more. When y'all got the more gang symbols or something. I don't know. All right. Yeah. But OCS in the house. Definitely. Humble and hungry. 100% right over, Chris. So again, real quick, just want to touch on, as you guys can see, as I always do, I try to add some kind of literature to the description box, just to kind of give you an understanding of, maybe some of the things that I'm looking forward to as going into the week. I didn't get a chance to really go in depth and really scrub down, the market news and publication, kind of put y'all some good literature in there. But I did find a few real quick just for the quick little live stream, because I knew I wasn't going to be on long. Again, I don't want to kind of get, waste too much time spending an hour or so just trying to get a good description set up together so we can go over, some stocks potentially in there and, everything we probably won't cover. But I did put down some of the more notable trades that I'm looking for this week. And there's others too. We may get a chance to talk about them. But most notably, I'm pretty sure you guys know, if you're in those Discord rooms, I am in there with you guys, and Twitter and so forth, and stock tweets and Facebook, whatever. 3 stocks in particular, well, 4, but 2 definitely over the weekend, where a lot of news came out that's giving us some good, potential, volatility going into Monday. Obviously, Monsanto. I'm pretty sure most of you guys read the news on that, and also McDonald's, right? And there's others, right? But again, those are the 2 right now just dominating the headlines in terms of, stock market. And you can sprinkle in Tesla again, but that's always with Tesla, right? This whole ordeal with Tesla, then, being that, Elon Musk might be facing 2 lawsuits. Pretty much just for market manipulation at the end of the day, and fraud. Basically, they're saying that obviously he bluffed bulls to kind of buy the stock up under the auspice that they was going to probably take the company private. They had suitors that were looking to probably, obviously grant them, some billions of dollars worth of value to kind of get the stock price up to 420, so they can buy that private offering up. Turned out, again, a lot of it was just, him doing what he normally does. He's like, Donald Trump of Twitter, right? Those are 2 people on Twitter by all intents and purposes. Anytime they tweet, there's always going to be some commotion behind it, and that's Elon Musk, owner of Tesla, and again, Donald Trump. Again, so again, when you see those guys tweet, it's always some craziness coming behind it. So regardless, all right. So again, we just here for the action. We don't get caught up in who, where, when. It's the stock moving. That's all that matters at the end of the day. It's stock moving in which direction. Right? Can I make some money off of it? Right? And if those things line up, then we're there. So most interesting, again, speaking about McDonald's, we'll do McDonald's real quick again, because I don't have a lot of time here, guys, and I want to make sure I get the best of the time in, and maybe I can come on back a little later on the end of the day, maybe when the futures get ready to open up, we could do another one, or a little later possibly. If again, I don't have the whip crack across my back in a minute, and saying get up and go handle business. All right, so real quick. So if you guys don't mind, that's in the, hey, thank you for stopping by, family. T-Bone, I see you in the house, family. Power and profit to you. Real quick, now, if you guys have any particular stocks that you're looking at for next week as well, if you could put down your best stock, not, you can put down a list of them, but what is the #1 stock you guys are looking forward to trading going into this week, preferably Monday, if you will. If you could post that in the back chat real quick, guys, I appreciate that. again, I'd like to get a litmus test, or, take the pulse of the people, right? Because we family in here, and we want to kind of get an idea what you guys are thinking, where your mind's at this week as well, especially going into Monday, knowing that there's so much, potential out there for us to be, watching. We do have a pretty decent earning calendar this week. Some notable names in there like NVIDIA, obviously. We got Home Depot, right? We have Amat, we got Walmart, Cisco, JCPenney. All right, some of these retail's going to start coming in. We got Bizon. Some of you guys know some of the, some of these China-based stocks. Obviously, they've been under a lot of fire of late because of the whole, Trump and tariff deal. So we want to make sure we watch those. VIPS. It's a few, again, a really, really good little lineup of some stocks that's definitely going to bring some opportunity this week. And, you're thinking about price action, and you're thinking about the global market sentiment at this point, especially how Friday closed and, on the SPY, whatever, after kind of pulling back a little bit, they retraced a little bit into the close. We know that there's still some weakness in the market. We hit some all-time highs this week. That's what's crazy. I mean, amidst of all the things that keeps happening in terms of the global scenario, the market just continually surges higher and higher, and for short sellers, again, we, I trade both sides, up and down, right? I'm an opportunist. I don't get, I'm not myopic in my trading. But again, it's offering up some opportunities there for us. And, we just, again, it's about risk versus reward, and it's about mitigating your risk value too, finding the best asset to trade, per your time. Right. And again, make sure you're on the right side of that trade too, by all intents and purposes. But we do realize that a lot of the global, again, diplomatic perspectives are some of the biggest catalysts that kind of drive the market. Again, speaking about Turkey, we all know what happened to Turkey over the last week, right? Going to the close. All right. Their economy got decimated. Right. This is the entire economy, a country that literally sold off well over what, 12%, over 20-something% altogether, somewhere around some big number. I mean, their economy is only worth about what I think they said $990 billion. I mean, the country of Turkey is only worth $990 billion, right? So their obviously currency is the lira, right? The lira got pounded, right? To the point now it's probably worth maybe, point. 98999789999% to that of of a dollar to the worth of a US dollar. So basically, you could take a USD dollar over there right now, and it'd probably be worth, close to maybe $90,000, $100,000, somewhat crazy number like that, just to put it in perspective. Right? And that's what happens when these economies collapse under the weight of other bigger economies, sucking up a lot of their commerce to the point where they can't compete, or they don't have enough goods and services to offer the other ones to kind of stay in the realm of a global, fast-paced economy. So again, they got decimated, and a lot of guys got a chance to trade that ticker symbol, which was TUR, Turkey. I think it was like an ADR. It's kind of like how the ADRs are in China. It was an overall economy ticker base for the Turkish, or the lira, so to speak, value. Right, so let me see if I can pull it up real quick here while I am talking about it. And maybe we can move on real quick and get on to some other stuff again. So I don't want to hold up the the opportunity here to build. All right, so yeah, looking at this chart here, man, wow, that thing is hideous. All right, so I'll pull up the 5-minute here. Let me see. I'll share my screen here real quick. I'm gonna pull up the 5-minute chart here. All right, 1 second, guys. All right, so real quick, guys, just kind of talking about this. Again, we don't want to spend too much time on it because I don't have a ton of time. But again, this is what caused a lot of the market to pull back too. Again, we're not, immune to understanding that there's other outliers out there that cause us to, get into some heavy price action. And it's like a domino effect. If one stock or one asset or one economy or something like that happens, especially the so-called ally-based, economy, then the downside risk for a lot of other plays could be very catastrophic. And with that, again, you'll find yourself in a scenario where, again, we're here for the opportunity. We don't get caught up in our emotions. We realize that there's opportunity in the market, be it going up or down, right? And again, it's devastating that people and the citizens of Turkey are really finna, backpedal a little bit here, and they're finna hit some hard times, and that's sad to say. But in that same breath, we find opportunity in that, right? We find opportunity in being able to trade these assets, in a way where, again, somebody got to make sure they, benefit off that, and somebody is, unfortunately, and I feel like, if there's room for us to, chip a little bit and make a little bit here and there, then hey, so be it. So again, looking at where that chart came from, I mean, just got, again, decimated, decimated, coming way up here near the $26 level, obviously in terms of USD value, top side around about 26.5, somewhere around there. And again, after that, just plummeting, and that's a lot for that value of that index fund. That's a lot. That's a big drop. When an index fund like this drop this much, all right, and you talk about from a forex perspective, for some of my forex traders in here, that's a ton of money right there. $5 or $6, that's a ton of money for an economy value in an index fund. All right, and I mean that's a lot of shares of people, life savings, et cetera, based into this whole factor, this ticker value, so to speak, of this index fund, and they may not recover, in a way that they really want, because again, they're saying there's no downside in sight for the Turkish economy. They're pretty much saying that it's done, even though that whatever, but that's ugly. That's ugly. That's a very ugly cloud to have over your head, knowing that your economy may not even recover, not to compete at the so-called pace of some of these superpower-based countries out there, right? So you close to becoming a quote-unquote, I hate to use this term, but I hate it passionately, but a third world country under the auspices of how they value capitalism. They're close to being plummeted back to a third world country, and that's just tragic, but that's the market, and that's how this stuff works. So again, a lot of people out there shaking up the global commerce right now, especially being Trump being one of them with all the tariffs and trade wars and starting to happen between other countries now, and everybody's just kind of up in arms now. Everybody was comfortable for a long time, and now it's like, all right, back to the drawing board, so to speak. So again, just kind of putting that in context. Again, I don't want to spend enough time on that, but you guys can go pull up the information on Turkey if you already haven't heard it. But that's pretty much what pulled our market back heavily, on top of the tariffs that China fired back to, with tariffs against us as well. But if you look here at the SPY here, and we just looked at the Turkish, the Turkish Lira index fund, don't those charts look identical? Those charts look 100% identical, don't it? Looking at Turkish index fund and looking at SPY, how the SPY sold off as well, in a lot of ways, that should tell us something, again, so there's a lot of weakness here, even though the USD dollar spiked and hit some, some real high levels because of that. Again, the USD dollar is strong here against a lot of these other currencies now because of the fact that, again, Trump is, shaking up a lot of these other economies that's been benefiting from a good tax break, and tariff break, against a lot of our goods and services, imports and exports. So there's some good in it and there's some bad in terms of, again, when I say us, meaning global, commercial players, because basically what we are as a trader, we're global, commerce dealers, so to speak. We're dealing in, the ability for economies and products to be able to sustain themselves across a wide spectrum, not just here in America, right? Made in America products are great, but can they do well in other economies, right? To the point where, to the tune that stock will grow off the back end of getting some Asian money or some, some Europe money or some African money or some Indian money, right? So that's what, again, we always want to keep an eye to the global commerce or the global body politic, what's happening around us as well, as opposed to just what's happening here in the country, right? There's no way you could be a successful trader just focusing on American-based business and politics only. That's just not how this stuff works. That's not how this works. You have to be a student of global party politics and what's going on around you from a global perspective, day in and day out, because it affects our market, right? This market that we're trading every day, right? So again, we want to be make sure we're on top of that, right? So again, that's just one of the other ideals that I like to always kind of bring truth to power about, because sometimes we can become a little myopic and we're just trading under auspices that what's happening here in America. There's other stuff that goes on to affect our market too. So people are like, well, man, why did the stock pull it back right here? Why did this stock just dump all of a sudden? There might be other deciding factors that cause that to happen. And that's why I always tell you guys, keep a chart of the SPY open around you at all times. If nothing else, some kind of value where you can watch the SPY. Because when the market pivots as a whole, which is the S&P does, Standard & Poor's does, right? and it turns bullish, let's say potentially over the VWAP, because we like to look at the VWAP as the gun line. It's the deciding factor between bulls and bears, how they kind of fight to kind of hold that gun line daily. And anytime the SPY or the market breaks above the VWAP, that means the market has turned bullish, right? A lot of buyers may want to come into the market. They might see this as a great opportunity to push higher. Anytime the market breaks below VWAP, that means it's a bearish sentiment. That means the bears finna start doubling down on their short position, right? Because again, anytime people feel like the market's getting ready to pull back, that moment of fear kicks in, capitulation, right? As you see in my title, capitulation sets in, right? And now, stop loss is starting to trigger, right? People start to get very scared and start selling off, and bears are, will capitalize off that moment, right? So again, you have to be a student of the game at all aspects. Never come into this market, with a myopic mindset. So I can't preach that enough, because again, you will find out on the back end that where you set yourself for more of a tighter percentage loss or a gain, potential gain or potential loss. Where if you just watch the overall market sentiment too, you would have realized that you probably going to end up in a pivot moment, in a pivot mode, in a moment, and get you a nice little thrust, be it up or down, depending on how you're taking the trade, right? You pretty much don't get shaken out your trade if you don't necessarily have to, right? Because you didn't get a chance to kind of, watch the overall market sentiment, so to speak, right? And lose, now commissions and got you, and now you got to take another new position, or just take that loss for the day or that L and just kind of close down the computer and just go do something else, right? So the goal is understanding that, we want to be still students of good technical analysis, right? All right. What does the indicators telling you? What is the oscillators telling you? Right? Is it telling you to stay in the trade, or is it telling you just kind of, go and cut your losses and get up out of there? All right. So again, a lot of people use different things. They got stochastic tactics. We got MACD. We got TTM squeeze. We got 20-day, 50-day, 9, and the Bollinger Bands, the 4 crossing over the 8, and the 8 cross back over the 4, and all these different aspects of what we use in terms of indicators to give us some kind of semblance or understanding of what we're looking at, right? So again, we don't want to find ourselves in a situation where we're prematurely missing out, on a big move, right? Be it, again, up or down, right? So that's why you guys hear me, in most cases, I like to let my runners run. If the trend is confirmed, I'm going to let that runner run. Number one, saves me on my commissions. Number two, gives me a more sense of conviction, make sure that if I take that trade, I'm taking it on a strong due diligence value. So at least I've done my part enough. I'm just waiting for the market to complete its end of the bargain. And again, that sets me in a motion where I become more strong in my psychological value too. And anytime I see a spike down or spike up, I'm not getting nervous behind that. I'm not sitting there, super nervous and man, like you don't need pins and needles, right? That's not the way to trade the market. But again, it's good to trade with some level of understand that there's dangers, around the corner, because the market can turn on you, but don't allow fear to grip you, right? Fear is what ruins a lot of people's good trades. Right, that fear is pretty much the false evidence appearing real. When you think your stock is going to do this and it actually doesn't, it just pull back a little bit and then comes to your favor. As soon as you get stopped out or you get out, the stock actually goes exactly where you want it to go. And the first thing we say is, man, I should have stayed in this stock, or I should have pushed my stop loss back a little further, or whatever the case, because we didn't trust the indicator, we didn't trust the trend, we didn't trust the the value of the sentiment, meaning the overall market sentiment, right? And because of that, again, we find ourselves trade a very slippery slope kind of technique or strategy value that's not necessarily comfortable to our comfort level. So again, for some of us that understand, the OCS strategy, the 1 cent strategy, whatever, again, that's a whole different ballgame. That's a whole different mental focus, right? You're understanding why you're taking those trades for that potential, and you're making sure you capitalize it on the move, and you're making sure that you're on the right side of that trade. And when it's time to get out, you get out. You don't sit there and linger in it, languish in that stop. Right? And for others that are trading trend more or less, you just waiting for a meet of a move to happen, then again, you still must trust that asset to kind of move in your favor. Right. So again, I just want to make sure I always stress that I've, proven to people that's, into trading, and they always wonder, man, I can't day trade like you because I got a job and this, that, and the third, man. How can I be successful, in trading these stocks and, really make some money if I can't sit there and watch it all day? Well, there's a such thing called swing trading. There's a such thing, called trend trading. Right, my brother Tyson Batts, he really put a big, stamp on that strategy in a ways, and showing people how you can take a stock, through a swing trade and hold it for a day or 2 or 3 days, even a week, and get the maximum return on your investment. Again, if you don't have the time to sit there and watch the stop and go traffic and day trade like we do, you know, from day in and day out. So there's many ways you can make money, basically what I'm coming at. And there's different ways you can, you know, set up your mental disposition or psychological value to be able to deal with these movements, right? Be they inorganic or organic, and not get, you know, too flustered. Again, you know, I understand, you know, day trading ain't for everybody. You know, as the saying goes, you know, you find out the granny day trade, you know, man, what you can imagine what that's gonna do to her pacemaker. That's why grandmas ain't finna be doing no day trade unless she got nerves of steel, right? As old folks say, she still can, you know, smoke a Cuban cigar, drink a fifth of whiskey, and still trade with the best of them, right? Well into her 70s and 80s. But you know, until you can find that kind of person, realize you got to stay within your comfort level, right? And you can realize, again, you can't find ways to still be profitable in a market that doesn't require you to kind of, you know, feel like you just got to trade, stop and go traffic, you know, day in and day out. You know, again, so find what works for you, then be able to capitalize on it. There's no one way to make money based on what I'm saying. As long as you're profitable, that's all that matters. And once you find that comfort zone and learn how to get those base hits, right? Again, this is about base hits, not home runs. Right? If you setting your eyesight on the you know, the back wall every single time you come up the bat, then you're gonna find that you're gonna find yourself flat on your back a lot more than you hit cracking the ball up out of the park, because the market just don't work that way. Right? Sometimes you got to be comfortable in taking that $20 gain, or that $30 profit, or that $10 profit, or that $100 profit, or that $500 profit, especially if you're used to getting $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a day. Take that. That's more money you had before you came in the market that day. Right? Don't let your greed over exceed your backside. Right? Because I guarantee, you know, a bird in the hand beat one in the bush. Right? So again, we want to make sure we respect that, and we realize that, again, we're grateful. We're humble traders. Anytime we can take profit away from this market, that's a win. Because y'all know how this stuff works. Anytime you making money, that means somebody else is what? Losing. Right? And it's because of what? You know, they didn't do enough homework. They didn't study enough. They wasn't disciplined enough, right? Something happened where, or it just could have been what? The market pivoted and they just got crushed. That happens to both traders, bulls and bears. We notice this is not an exact science. It's a speculative market for a reason. If anybody could predict the market, you know, again, and we all be billionaires, right? We all be billionaires, right? So again, we want to make sure we're responsible and disciplined about what we do. All right, so moving on real quick. So again, another big trade we took this week. Again, I know you guys post some of the trades that you're looking at for this week. I see that some of the family got, let's see, we got, all right, so a lot of people looking at McDonald's too, right? All right, you know, I post a lot of articles about McDonald's, guys. The other day, again, y'all pretty much got the news at this point. If you already have, if you're late to the news, over 436 people contract the foodborne illness per the CDC and the FDA from McDonald's salads, right? Now, this is an old story. Now, this ain't, you know, it just came to a head yesterday. But I think the first case of it started happening around the middle of July, right? And that's when the investigation process started happening. Subsequently, after that, I think they said well over 15 different states in total, and over 436 people, obviously the number is going to grow. People have gotten sick from the McDonald's salad from some kind of, you know, again, I think they call cyclospora type of bacteria that got into the salad. It's a foodborne parasite and caused people had to be mad, you know, mad sick. I think they say over 20-something people have been hospitalized since then, and 436 were sick. So again, there's going to be more numbers on the back end where that's going to obviously balloon over time. So when we're thinking about, you know, what are some of the other companies that went through that same scenario just recently, right? We know Chipotle stayed in that under that prism, under that microscope, right? I mean, Chipotle is to the point now you can't even sneeze in Chipotle before somebody cry foul and they're saying, "Oh man, your mucus got on my burrito wrap," you know, trying to shut it down or trying to boycott. You know, again, Chipotle stock stay in trouble for these same reasons. And McDonald's, again, we talk about a legacy company in McDonald's that's still a growth stock. McDonald's still haven't even hit their cap yet, right? And if you look at the yearly chart from last year, McDonald's was a powerful investment if you took it long last year, around the beginning of 2017 January. Stock picked up well over 57% on a year on an annual basis. That's a great return on your investment if you're a long-term annual investment. It went up as high as like 70-something%, but it tailed off around about 50-something% on the annual perspective in terms of McDonald's growth over that 1 year alone. Again, we know stocks that do way more than that have done that. You know, Netflix being one, ISRG, another robotic company like TRX, they did well over 200% in a year. But again, that's a big return on personal investment. You know, and here McDonald's here is at now where they were just starting to rebound a little bit off this last nasty sellout that sell-off that happened not too long ago. Matter of fact, let me pull up the let me see if I can pull up the 3-month chart here. I hate when they have all that. I need to take those out, but whatever. You can see what I'm saying here. All right, the 3-month chart, looking where it came from on the 3-month chart, pretty much a quarterly chart. It had a high of 171.35 back on June the 8th, right? June the 8th, we had a high McDonald's at 171. Just stock just jumped up, went parabolic 2-3 days before, and just it was just lights out to the upside, crushing all kind of bears on the way up there, right? And now here we are again at a point of what? Moment of truth for the stock, because now they're facing a very, very, very ugly and unforeseen. Well, it has happened before, but not at this magnitude of late for McDonald's, especially after they had so much really, really good movement, over this last little pullback that happened back on the 2nd, right? They had a nice little pullback, right? Offered up a buying opportunity around about 153, right? And then it bounced and went, basically straight to the upside. Beautiful chart there. Hit up, got up there, crest around about 159, bounced up around a couple times, got rejected, and pulled back to around about 158. So a beautiful chart, over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, right? So what's also interesting about this chart, if you back it up around about 10 to 12 days, right? Now with this news that just came out about McDonald's here, right? Here's what's interesting, right? Now with the threat of the stock pulling back, we have some potential, notable risk versus reward ratio of watching the stock pull back to the downside a little bit here, especially if you think about taking a short or put some puts on it. Actually, I'm already preparing me some puts come Monday. I'm liking the 155 puts. And the reason why I'm going with the 155 puts is because if you look at the chart from a 10 to 12 day perspective, actually one of our other brothers has actually also helped bring this to my knowledge too. I was looking at it myself, but it really made sense when I really looked at it too and really delved into it. At 155, you look at this trend here. How many times did the stock channel within 155 over the last 10 days? Meaning it kept finding a level of 155 level of support and bouncing off that either up or down. But that it showed that it was a notable level of support to the downside. It hit it like about 5 times, guys. 155, it channeled around 155 like 5 times over the last 10 days. Right. So I feel like that's a nice level or a strike zone or strike price zone to take for these puts going into this news that, when it opens up Monday, we're going to see how it trades. I haven't bought them yet, but I need to see how the price action unfolds first. But that's why I chose that 155 put level. Right. So I'm splitting the difference pretty much of 158 down to the low. Right. The latest low was around about 153. Right. So split that in the middle. That's what? 158 to 155. And you got 155 to what? 153. All right, so basically about a $2 to $3 differential in the middle, and I'm playing the middle like like a linebacker, so to speak. Right, bring a little football analogy in there. All right, so that's why I chose those 155 puts. I could usually take the 157s, but I want to do the 155s and give the stock a chance to open up a little bit. It's a weekly expiration anyway. You're catching up here near the top where it's at. At this point, I do believe there's going to be some market skittishness when the market opens up Monday because this news is still digested around the market overall as a whole. And again, that potential downside, if you're looking at the stock how it closed off Friday after the close, you had a gap down, right? You had a big gap down Friday. I would say a notable gap down for a stock the way that McDonald's trades, right? Because again, you don't get a ton of giant moving to McDonald's, but again, you see how it closed off at 167, 158.67, then the gap down to what 158.50, right? Right. When it all said and done, we dropped down, additional 17 some odd cents. Right. So just like a little gap down. So somebody already realizing that, okay, we might be in some trouble. And closed out. Look how it closed out. Closed out on a spinning top. Look at the candle. That's a spinning top. Right. All right. So again, hey, weakness here. That's weakness here. Spiked up way up here above 159.50 and sold off into the bell. You never want your asset to sell off into a bell, especially going into the weekend. Right? Everybody want their stock to close strong. Okay, that ain't happening. So here we go. again, watching this whole scenario going into Monday with this news, looking for this David to break down, right? Broke VWAP, gap down from VWAP, gap down below the 20-day moving average, obviously. And here we are sitting down here, kind of getting ready to hit some new levels, test some new levels. Next major level support going to be around about 158.30, right? 130, 158.31, somewhere around there. After that, boom, we're going to get some drop, some downside, 158.11, like some 20 to 30 cent drops pretty much, right? And we'll just kind of go back and, plot our support and resistance, support lines all the way back down if you think about taking it short. Now, it can very well just V-shaped reverse and go to the upside off this news. We saw stranger things happen like that before. We saw that Starbucks. Remember when that news came out by Starbucks, right? About the CEO, I meant to give you the little scenario that happened in Philadelphia. Essentially, the next day, the stock went up a little bit. And then later on, when the news really got circulated, then the stock started pulling back, selling off. Stranger things have happened. We saw that with the Parkland shooting that happened down in Florida, right? About some of the gun stocks, right? As soon as the shooting happened and hit news, guess what? Gun stocks started spiking up. A day later, after the news started to digest it, then they started selling off. Again, that's people find opportunity in other people's despair and distress sometimes too. So, but we are watching this for a major short. And again, I'm liking the 155 puts, right? Give me some room, give it some time to breathe. And set it out, obviously doing a weekly. You can set it out a little further if you want, but again, they're pretty cheap right now. I saw them, they only 25 cents for those puts right now, 25 cents. And you best believe that volatility gonna kick up real quick. The IV gonna kick up real quick, and that number gonna start, it's gonna move around a little bit, right? It's gonna probably start to skyrocket a little bit. But right now, it's super cheap. So if anybody bought those 25-cent puts going into the weekend that didn't know this news was going to come out, or maybe somebody been watching this thing close to themselves, doing their due diligence, and knowing that at some point this news is going to come to a head, they finna reap the benefits of that right now. Especially, like I said, this stock pulled back just any a little bit, especially if they bought up here around this 158, 159 region, like excuse me, this 159 region. That means they got a lot of good potential downside, potential in their trade. Look at the trend. All right, I got my linear regression band up right here. What is that trend? What is it showing you right here on this linear regression trend? It's pointing downward, right? If I split this chart down the middle here, from the middle of the screen, we seeing levels of what? 157.80, 157.20, 157, all the way down to about 156.60. And that's just doing it on a half-day perspective. Meaning if the trend still is confirmed throughout the day, people start selling off, it could easily just plummet straight down and get outside the trend, which also causes the trend to come down harder and sharper. But at this point, as the close of Friday, you split the screen halfway through at a half-day value, we got a downtrend on the linear regression band here, right? So we waiting, we want to eat all this up here to the downside if things go our way off this news, right? So again, we just keeping this one here on watch, guys. Again, I can really go into depth and really go deep into what I really like in this and that and this and the third, but I don't want to waste too much time. But we know that this is one that's on watch come Monday, right? So just put that out there. So McDonald's, we already know we're gonna be watching that one. All right, so let's do another one. So we got some people think about watching Harmony Gold. All right, so I think my brother all messages you send up here public, you said HMY. All right, let's look at that one real quick. All right, HMY. All right, so Harmony Gold. Make sure that's the right. Yep, Harmony Gold. All right, so gold stock offers a gold play. All right, so if you look at this asset here, all right, so let's do the 1 day. We'll do the 5-minute chart because the 1 minute, the 1 minute be looking like we call that like a equalizer. You see them like that there. Let's do the 10-minute chart or the 15 and see if we can get it to look a little bit prettier, so we can get a little bit more view of how the chart look. Okay, let's do the 30 minutes. Let's do 30 minutes. All right, hold on, 1 day, 30 minutes. Why this thing doing that craziness? All right, so this is a little bit more better. All right, so this is a little bit better. All right, so if you're looking at this asset as well, let's see here. Hold up. Okay, this is a day from a day perspective. All right, so let's see. Let me look at it from the week first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 days here. All right, so again, this has kind of been challenged sideways again because the whole gold market right now has been in an ugly trend as of late. Gold really has been spiking up or just really completely dumping. Right, so because of that, again, I think gold is in a what they call a kind of recess period, right? Because if you stretch this chart out here a little bit for this asset alone, gold, Harmony Gold here, is right back in the same channel that's been kind of riding in for the longest. This kind of ATR of $1.60, we'll just say $1. Yeah, we'll just say $1.60 to maybe about $1.70, about a 10-cent trade, 10-cent window, right? Give or take. So right now, again, the stock is in a caught in this little trend here as of late. And until they can really, the gold market spikes and breaks out, you're not going to really get a ton of movement. Again, 7-8 cents a day potentially, 3 to 5 cents a day, playing the price action if you just day trading, scalping it. But I don't see no clear breakout as yet, unless they got some good news coming out of the pipeline, particularly for this company alone, despite the whole gold market overall. Right. So again, we're just watching gold here, because gold really spikes up doing any kind of military type of confusion, things down there. That's when the gold market really wakes up. So as of late, even the tariff market or the tariff trade war scares haven't really been spooking the gold market enough to kind of really get the gold spiking up. But we do want to keep an eye on gold, because again, it is one of those commodity-based scenarios that really moves the market, when necessary. All right. So again, just want to make sure I look at that asset. I see my brother posted that. All right. I see my friend BJ Illness spoke about TTD. Now TTD, very great trade. I'm definitely watching that one. Going until Monday. All right. Look at that spike, guys. Look at that spike up there. Let me put it on the 5-minute chart. Because that you got to be able to appreciate this thing beautifully. All right. Obviously, it beat on earnings, right? And I didn't get a chance to even play it. I had it on my radar, didn't play it, but that's the game. You can't catch them all. All right. This would have been another home run trade. Again, stock gapped up from $92, around about 92 and change, and went just straight gangbusters on the short sellers. Squeezed up from 92 and went all the way up at high, hit close to about, I think about like 130, close to 131. I mean, crazy move up like what, $34 on the day, somewhere around there. A total move somewhere around there. Crazy gains, and held this gain all day. Look what it did around the VWAP. It just bounced over the VWAP like butter all day long throughout the regular day trading session too, after it gapped up for the morning. Again, the AM rise opened up around about 114 and change, gapped up, went super skyrocketing to that upside, picked up to about 130. So you pick up actually another $14, $15, $16 in profit on a day trade alone in this asset, and you were done literally by before 12 if you got out way up in the top. I mean, you picked up $15, $16 a share, and you close your day out fine. And that's if you missed that move, the day before prior on the earnings news release information. And after that, it still offered up some good scalping opportunities. Again, came down, pulled back, bounced right above the VWAP here about 124.75. You bought in there scalping, right? You bought in there scalping, playing the VWAP as your gun line, rolled it back up to around about what, 128. You picking up like $4 a share, just that move. Let it sell off again, came right back down about 124. Well, no, when they're 125, went right back up there, what, 127.80, and then close to 128 again. So another $2-3 squeeze. There's a scalper's paradise. And it did that like at least 2 or 3 times while the bands tightened down. Then it broke out and eventually even going back higher. Went up there about 129.30. Again, so open up a great opportunity here. So this one here is definitely on watch come Monday, right? And whether you guys are looking at this as a potentially oversold perspective, because the RSI definitely probably oversold on the weekly, but well, not necessarily oversold. I take that back. But it's extended on the daily. I would say it's a little oversold on the daily, but from the weekly, it's still looking pretty good. Sitting here around about 49 on the RSI. So sitting about halfway on the weekly 5-day chart, 5-day 5-minute chart, 5-minute 5-day chart. Right. So it's still in a good breakout range, because again, look at that linear regression band right there. Which way is it pointing? Still to the upside. That means there's still some bulls in this thing that just still hungry. Look at that volume. This is what you want to see in a volume chart, right? Because again, pullbacks are healthy, right? We know that. We ain't crazy. We know that the stock needs to pull back sometimes, collect itself, let some new buyers come back in so we can spike back up to the upside. That is a beautiful volume trend channel here on this chart here. That's what you want to see. Close up the day strong, right? Then close out near VWAP and separate itself from the 20-day moving average, and it held above. Again, trading right at the above, or right at the mean line of the linear regression band, meaning this blue and red middle line here. So definitely a good play to watch going into Monday. Definitely, right? I'm looking for any weakness that may happen, but more importantly, I'm looking for any upside move more or less than I am looking for downside. And that's only dependent upon how the market opens up come what tomorrow, how the futures open up. I'm already thinking the futures are going to open up red. That's just my prediction. All right. So come 6 o'clock, we all going to be watching the market, right? Go pull up investors.com, whatever you watch, and let's see how the market opens up. All right. Especially all this kind of news is still lingering, came out of Friday. So TTD still definitely on watch come Monday. All right. So again, just want to talk about that one real quick. I'm just going through them real fast. So forgive me. I know I'm talking fast, but I don't really have a lot of time. All right. Because I think my son is actually getting ready to wake up. I hear him. I think I hear him moving around up there. So I'm out there kind of cut this short in a minute here, guys. So forgive me. Hopefully I get a chance to come back on. All right. And we'll finish up. So Black Box has earnings. All right, so well, not Black Box stock, but yeah, there's another company called B Box, Black Box. All right, so we'll check that one out too. I've traded that before. I hadn't checked their scenario as late Black Box Corp. So I've traded before on a nice little breakout, then it sold off because the news didn't turn out in our favor. Y'all remember the whole callous behind that a while back. Stock came from way up there near $3 some change, and it sold off because we was pending some news, obviously. With that whole deal with Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. Y'all remember that. And the stock just been trying to get itself back up ever since then. So again, you do have some momentum though. Here going into next week, if you look at the chart, bounce off this 128. Now you're back up at the 150 level, right? You're at the gun line, the $half mark, right? We know $half and whole dollar marks are natural resistance supports by natural value of what, how they trade. And this stock here closed out pretty strong here, guys, going into the close, right? Look at that candle there going into the close. Look at that big volume spike there. I mean, that's 1 cent, but that's a lot. That's still strong for a stock trading at this multiple at this point, right? So I mean, it closed strong. Either way you look at the stock closed strong, right? Going into the to the weekend, right? On the higher end of its trend, more or less. So again, one to keep on the watch. I know you're watching. I see my brother Dan's looking at Black Box, and we get a chance to look at the fundamentals, see what the earnings numbers may look at. Obviously, with the book value and everything, looking at it might be a good play in the earnings next week. And I have to kind of pull up what the actual date is. All right, so just one to watch. So my brother Jackson O'Leary, he said he's looking at MU again. So MU, again, we know the whole scenario happened with the semiconductor. Semis got beat up a little bit because of what? What was that chart? Microchip, MCHP had earnings, and on top of everything that's happened with China and tariffs and all that, it caused a lot of these semiconductors to start to sell off a little bit. So some of them got beat up actually Friday, and I was watching some of them pre-market. I said, oh, here we go. But again, that's how this market is. Again, there's a lot of other outliers out there that affect the market. And again, China also being a big consumer of some of American-based, semiconductors for a lot of their computing power things they do. They got some, major players over there in the technology set that can make their own, but they like the AMDs and the NVIDIAs and the Intels and the and the Microns of America-based scenarios too, right? So but if you talking about slapping the tariffs on them too, they also going to hit too, get crushed as well. And then China, in some cases, the Asian market is telling U.S.-based semiconductors that they don't even want they don't even want to use their products anymore. They're rather use some in-house brand at this point. Again, that's that whole resentment toward Trump and American-based economy because of everything that's happening with all this tariffs. So again, it's like a nasty, ugly spat that's happening right now. Right, they're fighting with each other right now. They're allies when it comes to all the other diplomatic stuff and war-based stuff, but they fight when it comes to economic scenario at this point. So again, MU, crazy chart on the day. Open up, off the pullback pre-market, spiked up from 51.25, got up as high around by 51.89, 90 cents, and basically after that point, it just crashed. That's just they hit the major level resistance up there, and that was it. So that was the gun line pretty much for it on the daily. We're gonna go no higher than that. Despite those wicks, that means nothing. But at this point, just hit a level up there where it say, hey, we're done, right? We're done for the day. So what you have here, obviously looking at the chart, especially from a weekly perspective, looks like a great buying opportunity. Looks like it's at the bottom, but who knows if there's any more news coming down the pipeline? This thing can potentially even go lower. So right now, if you just look at this pattern here, from a daily perspective, coming out of the post-market trading Thursday going into Friday, then obviously post-market Friday, What kind of pattern does that look like to you guys? What kind of pattern you see there? All right. Looks like a big, ugly head and shoulders print there. All right. Like some flat shoulders there, or maybe some broad shoulders a little bit. Not a very, very broad, like, you know, big old, what they call the delts. Your delts be sticking up high like you got some old, like the Popeye syndrome. Like you've been eating spinach and your delts all, you know, raised up on the top of your shoulder. But this ain't that type, you know, it's close to it, but that look like a head and shoulder if you ask me. Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. I know some of you guys are chart masters in here, but that look like an ugly, ugly little what? Head and shoulders on micron, on MU. And the linear regression band, if you're looking at it here, is showing what? Trending to the downside. There's more downside in sight. Look at this big, ugly red volume bar going into the closing market. That's ugly. You never want to see that going into a closing market, especially going into a weekend for an asset. Look at those two big, ugly red volume bars there. That's ugly. All right, we just looked at TTD. TTD had what? Big green bars there, right? Black box court, the small cap stock we just looked at, they had what? Green bars here. Micron got two big ugly red bars there. That means there's some selling off there, right? That means there's some, again, capitulation, right? Or some of the bulls, right? So again, Micron definitely one to watch going into next week. Again, because of this whole scenario that's happening with this Trump, you know, tariff stuff like that, still affecting some of these semiconductor stocks. So we want to keep our eye on that. Again, never go all in on the stock with too much volatility surrounding, you know, a sector or, you know, or whatever the case, when you could just obviously scale in responsibly, right? That's why I always tell people, scale in, never go all in. Reserve your capital, right? At least let the stock prove itself to your money. Don't just throw your money to the wolves like that, into the wind, thinking it's going to go some way just because you have emotional attachment to a stock. That's not how you trade effectively, right? We don't trade with emotion. We trade with what? Know-how and knowledge, right? We want to be sure as possible and be convicted to the point where when we take that trade, we know we're taking a trade based upon our solid due diligence values, right? So again, just keep your eye on that. MU, I'm always looking for NVIDIA too, because we know NVIDIA has earnings this week. That's going to be a big one. Again, we saw AMD break out, you know, hit some nice highs after being beat up for so long. I was in that stock going into earnings. I played the calls and I bought it long, made a ton of money off that trade. It just opened up a great trade. All right, a lot of people were expecting that stock to sell off. AMD surprised a lot of people, and they raised their rest of this fiscal guidance, which showed a lot of strength for AMD going forward. Right now, the goal for AMD is to get above $20 and get back into the $20 club and hold down the roots like it's supposed to, so it can compete with the Intels and the Microns and, you know, get back to a so-called great perspective. Right, especially since that new CEO took over the lady, I forgot her name, Cindy, whatever her name is, but she's been doing a heck of a job for AMD as of late. All right, so hats off to her. All right, so hats off to her. All right, so again, just kind of keep that up. Yeah, you're right. That's how it, right, our brother Goatway. That like a blockhead meat sold to head and shoulders. That's it. That's a good analogy. Blockhead. That's a blockhead head and shoulders there on MU. Yeah, 100% right. All right, so I see my family came in. Hey, thank you for stopping by, family. I see you overseas. I see my family, LK Rod in the house, my brother Goatway in the house. Thank you guys for stopping by. Again, I don't have a ton of time left over here. I got to get up and go handle some business here inside my house here. But I did want to come on for a little while and just, you know, go over a couple of tickets for you guys, see what you guys were looking at next week. And again, keep in mind, I just moved into the new home, right? I new investment property here. So when I get this thing really, you know, we get most of the stuff set up the way we need to. I will be going back to doing my daily live streams, right? We're gonna call out some trades. We're gonna trade some charts, help you guys get in and out of some trades. You know, show some setups and, you know, some potential plays that we can kind of keep an eye on going into the next following days. If you guys been following me as of late, y'all know I've been playing a lot of earning plays of late. Have been a really good winning percentile lately on taking some of the earnings. We've been crushing them. Just to be frank about it, been crushing a lot of good earning plays of late. Again, just really taking, you know, tearing it up. Again, I know I had a Robinhood challenge. I was sharing that with some of my Facebook family and the Facebook group we got in terms of investing. And you know, I think literally about 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, I started like a little Robinhood challenge where I wanted to show the family that they could take, you know, don't really take a whole lot to make a whole lot. And I cleaned out the Robinhood account, got it down to about 150, right? And I turned that 150 into about $2,800 in about a week and a half, if that. So I took 150 and turned it to about $2,800 in about a week and maybe 2 or 3 days, right? Trading earnings and earnings only. I didn't take no loans. I took only earning plays, right? Fastenal being one of the first ones I took that made me big gains. And then obviously came behind that. I had Whirlpool. I had Riot. When Riot turned around and rebounded on the blockchain, Bitcoin spiking up. I had NKTR. I had a few of them. NBIX. I had a few of them. DDD as of late. That was another big one. I mean, I just been crushing the earning plays just playing options. You know, spending a little bit, making a whole lot. Again, one of my contracts, again, Whirlpool is one of the real big ones that we crushed on, right? Those contracts cost me $177 a contract. I bought 4, right? $177 brought me $1,600 per contract. 1668, something like that to be exact. 177 brought me 1668. That's the kind of odds of risk reward ratio or risk versus reward ratio or you know, win loss ratio, whatever you want to be in. That's the kind of ratios you want to be in. Knowing I'm willing to lose 177 based upon, you know, due diligence and catalyst value that the stock is going to move in my favor or move within the IV of the option flow chain, because other traders are waiting for the stock to kind of go up or go down. And I'm just sitting back watching and waiting and chilling. You know, so again, you're thinking about those kind of scenarios where people always saying, man, you think you need thousands of dollars to get started in this, especially if you got the ability to trade options. You don't. Again, my contracts I paid for Riot, man, them contracts were dirt cheap. I think I paid like what, 8 cents or somewhere around the 8 cents a contract for Riot before it broke out. And I bought those what, $5. I bought the $5 calls, and I turned around and bought the $6.50 call. That's when the stock trading was under $4. I thought I was sitting there shorting the breaks off of it. I turned around and went long and bought them things. They were dirt cheap. I think like $5 or $6, somewhere around there. Not only did it break, I got in the money, hit my strike price, and broke even. The stock spiked up well above $6.07. Went all the way up to near $7 and change. Made a ton of money off those contracts. I mean, I had a gang of them too. Again, so you know, this is what I'm talking about. You know, so again, you don't have to, you know, have a ton of money to make a lot of money in this. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take a lot, man. I tell people, man, every day, man, your greatest asset is your ability to what? To have a strong due diligence game behind you. Yeah, like most people say, yo, what's your stick game behind? Like for some of you guys to play pool, right? They be like, well, how strong is your stick game, right? How well can you wheel that, you know, wheel that cue ball around the table, right? Same way if you're a basketball player, how good is your dribble game, right? How good is your crossover game, right? Same way if you're a football fan, you know, how good is your defense game, right? How good is your ball handling game if you're a running back? How good is your hand game if you're a wide receiver, right? As investors and traders, for us is what? How good is our due diligence game? Simple as that. You know, how good is your psychological game, right? Are you easily shaken, or are you, you know, you're studied, you know, at the end of the day, right? Are we alpha beings, or are we beta males up in here, or beta players in here, right? We got some sisters in the house too, so beta, you know, beta queens out there, you know. So, you know, again, you got to realize that, guys. You know, the power is power in options, right? Where you can have a set risk versus reward ratio, meaning you gonna, you know, you were willing to risk a certain amount, you know, based upon, you know, catalyst-driven scenario that's going to take you, you know, take your asset in the way you want it to go, based upon, you know, you being able to kind of chart it properly, put your fundamentals in play, and then you just sit back waiting for the, you know, the rewards, right? And again, you not feeling like, you know, you caught up in a daily rat race of day trading stocks up and down all the time and waiting on that things to unfold and, you know, catching all these whipsaw and flash crashing. You can just trade the option market and, you know, save you a whole lot of headache and heartache. You know, because at least at that point you get a chance to watch the Greeks and watch how everything unfold and seeing the people buying it up, because you already want to make sure the IVs, you know, somewhat in your favor if you're going to take that option. Again, you just wait for it to happen. So just like Redfin, guys, y'all know we destroyed Redfin. Real quick, I go over Redfin. You know, we destroyed Redfin. Yeah, I took Redfin short. I naked shorted it like crazy. And I bought the puts going into earnings. So I took a short at 1995 short, naked shorted it, right? And y'all saw how, man, I don't even want, bruh, look at this chart here. Look at this chart here. Let me pull this down here. Let me close this out real quick. And I got to get off in a minute here, guys. My little guy, I hear him out there waking up. He's gonna have a little part up there in a minute without me if I don't go get him. All right. So again, look at Redfin real quick here, and I close out, and I hope I get a chance to come back on. We'll go over some more stocks here. We know that they got beat up on earnings, right? Meaning they did good on top and bottom. They actually beat on top and bottom, right? But what hurt them? What's been hurting a lot of stocks of late, guys, going into earnings? Despite you being on top, despite you being on the bottom, what has been hurting a lot of stocks as of late going into their earnings report? right? Somebody throw it in the back chat. What do we need to kind of pay attention to going forward here? Watching a lot of these earning plays, right? We don't want to get overly caught up on earnings per share and revenue. What do we want to watch going forward? Watching these earning plays, so that way we never get caught out there. Somebody type in the back chat. 100% right, brother T-Bone. Boom. If that guidance is weak, lights out. Lights out. Dropbox, beat on top and bottom. Guidance was weak, sold off. Right? Square, beat on top and bottom, big numbers. Guidance was somewhat ambiguous and weak. It pulled, it sold off. It rebounded the next day, but guess what? It's still what? Sold off. Right? What's another one? Redfin beat on top and bottom. Obviously in a weak retail market right now, right? Right, but still the guidance came in weak for third and fourth quarter, because they're saying the housing market not is under under distress right now because all this stuff is happening with the economy, and people are not necessarily going into third and fourth quarter budgets looking to buy a lot of properties, whatever the case. Actually, I got mine right at the right time too. We got locked in at the base, the lowest interest rate that we could catch before the interest rate started going up on APR started going up on houses. But again, this is the kind of stuff people are looking at as an investor, as a homeowner, they're looking to buy a personal home, right? And these companies that depend on people, the housing market rebounding and doing pretty well or staying stagnant at a good growth value rate, depending on the Feds, how they're hiking rates or not hiking rate, it affects their stocks, right? It affects their stock. They did good coming out of the summer months a little bit there, spring and summer months, but weak guidance crushed that stock. Stock dropped from 23 bucks and change, literally, up here to the promised land of $23 and change, all the way down to hit a low of $17.75. We crushed the stock Friday. A lot of you guys traded this stock with us in the Discord rooms and Twitter and stock tweets. We crushed it. I took it short right at 19.95, right? And it was I stayed in this stock all day long. Y'all know that traded this stock with me. I didn't cut and run just because I was up $1 or $1.50 or whatever the case. I stayed in it because I saw something that everybody else was seeing that was trading this stock with a sharp and keen eye. I saw the ask stacking up on level 2 like a floodgate was about to happen. Like at any point when this thing dropped and the floodgate opens up, it's gonna plummet like none other. And guess what it did? When the levee finally broke, for lack of better words, right? When she gave birth, when the whole water broke, we use that terminology. When the whole water broke on Redfin, guys, what happened? Y'all was watching stock with me. I was telling people to get in the stock around about 1950. I was telling people to get into the stock around about 1970, 1980. Some people did, some people took it, some people didn't. That's fine. Again, we take what we feel we're comfortable in. But I was like, hey, keep your eye on this, guys. I kept saying, keep your eye on Redfin here, guys. Here we go, guys. We at the gun line. It's 1950, watching the VWAP here. And guess what? When the floodgates open up, guys, it just look at that downtrend. Hold up, get off these lines because these things gonna keep moving. I hate that. I got all my little trend lines up there. Look at that drop, guys. That's a short seller's dream right there. That's a short seller's dream right there. The puts were just juicy. The IV just ran rampant when it started dumping. And the IV turned over so much, man, the groups was just going like a thermometer on a car revving up on the RPM. That thing was just revving over. People made a ton of money off Redfin. Right? And it bounced off around that 1775 low, bounced around 1790, got back above 1810, played that between 1820, couldn't make up his mind, then pulled back at the end of the day, closed around about 95, somewhere around there. And then it picked up a little steam after all that kind of oversold mentality. We crushed the stock. Right? We crushed the stock. So again, and right at near close the bell, guess what I did, guys? I turned around and bought those $19 calls for a retracement. The stock beat up on the day, right? It's already back at 1849. I just need to get up near VWAP. That's my gun line. I just need to get up there close back to VWAP. It can get rejected up there for all I care. I just want to see it get up there close to that strike price. I'll sell those calls. I bought a good little amount of them too, because they weren't that expensive. Obviously, I bought a good little amount of them, and I'll cash out, right? But guess what? I'm gonna also look for the short position again too, because there's still a lot of weakness in this chart. And if you don't believe me, which way is the linear regression band still pointing? It's still pointing to the downside. And you got an RSI, right, on the pretty much retracement here, up there in the 70 here on the retracement. It could easily very well open up and spike up a little bit Monday and then pull off and sell right back off again. Or it can just open right up Monday and just completely sell off again. Either way, I'm in the money. Actually, you're making a little money right now because I bought it way down here. Like for 25 cents, I bought them at 25 cents down here. I'm already up, what, way up here at 1850. I bought it around about $18 or $17.90, somewhere around there when I bought those calls. You know what I'm saying? So again, we just look for opportunity, guys. I don't want to get wrapped up in just one stock or other, but again, that's why I wish I had more chance to really dissect a lot of these plays. Right? I ain't get a chance to even go over Monsanto yet. But yeah, y'all know we already watching Monsanto for that news that happened to them, and we're gonna also watch Scott. Keep in mind, another one to watch too is Scott's Miracle Grow. Again, Simply Plays, right? That's another company that's dealing with lawn care and gardening, right? Right. Scott Miracle Grow been a big company for lately for helping a lot of what the marijuana companies to get their products to help their soil and all that for their growth stocks of late, right? So they're a real strong stock as late, but we got to keep our eye on that too, because now there's a fear that there's a lot of cancer causing agents in a lot of these pesticides and fertilizer. We knew that anyway, a lot of mercury and arsenic, and we're gonna list all the different carcinogenic values that's in a lot of these pesticide and chemicals. I mean, they're GMO for a reason. It's killing, soil and plants. I mean, what you think in it? What love and powdered sugar and unicorns in them bottles? No, there's poison in the thing. Right? Again, so again, some companies don't really label that stuff as the poison they are. They say, well, just be careful. And your kids been exposed to it, your pets get exposed to it. And obviously, unlike our brother, that got, sick behind that, that whole ordeal. What was the story? Our brother, let me see. I think I pulled it up, but y'all seen the article. I got the link down in the description box about the whole, the guy that got exposed to it, got to get in the lawsuit, whatever. I mean, that's very unfortunate. Right? That's very unfortunate. But again, we're gonna play the price action, we're gonna play for the money. All right, we playing for the, for the opportunity to benefit, from shorting it. Again, it's a trash company. We know Monsanto is a trash company. Let's keep 100. They're a greedy corporation. They got a lot of, only their values are based upon how much money they can make on selling their GMO seeds, selling their GMO, trash behind fertilizer, and it's killing people topsoils. And again, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. And I'm just gonna keep 100. Again, I'm looking to short the brakes off Monsanto come Monday. If I see any sign of weakness, it could very well pull a Starbucks again and spike up off the news. We've seen people do that. They'll buy this up just because it's news. It's ratchet news of all things. I mean, the guy terminally ill from cancer from their products, getting 289 million, and then somebody come in and say, man, I feel for Monsanto, man. That's wrong, man. Man, that's 289 million. Man, I feel for them. I'm gonna buy the stock here. Some people think like that. Again, you can't figure out how people think. That just some people think like that out there. What a world we live in, right? But again, we seen Chipotle sell off for just having a little salmonella in their little pork, and they still get selling off when those things happen. Okay, McDonald's turn now. Definitely look for a pullback. Monsanto, even worse. A guy got a terminally ill cancer from their products, Roundup, right? Stuff full of chemicals. Right? He won't probably live to see 2025 from what they're saying. He said he might get a chance to live to 2025. And the way that this trial is going, they finna file an appeal. He may be in court for the rest of his existence before unfortunately, brother probably pass away. Man, get a chance to even enjoy the money. But hopefully, Universal will and his family will. Hopefully, Universal will and his family will be able to benefit off this. And if it's any consolation, I hope the universe grants that. Because we know at the end of the day, I don't give a darn. That's why I don't have no personal affinities or affection for none of these companies. I know they all pump and dumps and they all garbage. They do not care about nobody. They only care about the green dollar, the greenback. And when we start realizing that, we'll know how to trade some of these stocks effectively too. Again, remove your emotions from this, even though it may sound like I'm emotional. I'm just saying, from the aspect of knowing who we're dealing with, these companies, all of them are pump and dumps. That's how. That's where my passion is. They're all of them pump and dump. Apple a pump and dump. Facebook a pump and dump. MU a pump and dump. Whatever your favorite company is, I'm sorry to break the news to you. It's a pump and dump. Convince me how you can rationalize that you feel like your stock will always go to the moon when it pull back. All of a sudden, now the company garbage, right? Again, they all pump and dump. All stocks have to have their moment of what up and down too, regard. But these CEOs don't care about you, man. And they don't. Let's keep 100. So you're there to reap the benefits off them the same way they're looking for your shareholder, your money to come in and fund their projects, right? And their vacations on shareholders' money. Or we had to take a trip down to Bermuda Island, and buy the most expensive, beach house down there and buy jet skis and rent Rolls Royce to drive over sand, just so we can entertain some clients from Dubai that may be thinking about, taking another position on our company. We did this on y'all dollars. It's okay to stop, pull back a little bit. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. And that's literally how they talk to you. And think you just like that kind of gullible. A lot of them, like 100% right, Brother T-Bone, a lot of them even got a lot of ton of massive debt too. But again, that's just, another portion of us understanding as investors, as in traders, we're here to be what? Snipers. We're here to be, the people that bring, truth to power when it comes to charting and fundamental analysis, to the point where we realize we're just here for the opportunity. Right? We're here for opportunity, and no more, no less. If it's moving, I'm there. If it's not, I'm out. Simple as that. I don't care which way it's moving. I just need to know if it's moving. Is there some price action today? Right? Are they, at least, good, go on the SEC filings? Are they legit at this point? Okay, then game on. Simple as that. Game on. What can we get from this today? Let's get this bag, so to speak. Right? Because the bag is not going to acquire itself. Right? And the stock just ain't going to go up just because you wish and hope it's going to go up. It's going to go up because of what? Some value catalyst, some potential short squeeze, some scenario of an oversold scenario, or a sector or market sentiment spike. Outside of that, it's just going to go up just because you want it to go up. Right? So again, we just make sure we play responsibly in terms of playing our position as investors and traders, knowing what we're doing. We don't get caught up in FOMO. It happens to the best of us sometimes. I get it. Happens to me still some of these times, but we still need to make sure, even if we get caught up in the FOMO moment, you best believe I'm going to have the tightest stop loss you could ever have. I'm going to have one of the tightest stop losses you ever have. Because I'm playing what? I'm playing what? Greed at this point. So if you're going to play a greed play, which is called FOMO, set your stop loss. Don't be a Rambo. Don't go out there and get your head knocked off and then turn around and blame the stock. It ain't the stock fault. It's your fault, idiot. Simple as that. And we need to keep it real and speak like that sometimes, because a lot of people fail to realize that this market will and can burn you. My goal is to take a minimum loss before you take a big loss and get caught up in this whole deer in the headlight moment. And next thing you know, the stock that dropped on you 50 cents, you still open, it's going to go back up. It then dropped 70 cents, you still hope it's going to go back up. Now it's down a full point, and you still sitting there like a deer in the headlight, and then you cut your losses before. And now you finna, feel some real pain if the stock never recovered. And then you're going to kick yourself later and say, man, I should have sold when it was way up there. Don't put yourself in that thought I woulda, shoulda, coulda moment. If you play a FOMO play, set your type stop loss. If it's 1%, 2%, 3% of the move, then make sure you have a risk value that you're willing to risk and not give up all your gains that you might have made today, or any of your more money that you need to give up playing a riskier play. Simple as that. Don't get caught up in hopium, right? We don't smoke hopium around here. We don't even do dope around here. Only dope we do around here is cash. That's the only high we're looking for. How can we get the bag? Get it respectfully and responsibly. That's the high we on around here. Get into the bag. If it ain't about getting to the bag, I don't want to talk about it. Right? If I can't help you get to the bag, then dang it, stop following me. That's how it needs to be. Everybody needs to respect the value of strong, solid due diligence and put some skin in the game. Let's go. Let's get this money. Right? And I can unequivocally say, man, between a lot of the discords I'm in and a lot of, seeing how you guys have improved lately, man, y'all been tearing it up, man. I can honestly say, man, across all the Discord rooms I'm in, I could easily say I know all of us as a whole pulled down close to maybe probably a little over $500,000, probably about over $500,000, close to about $600,000, $700,000 in revenue across all the Discord rooms I'm in, personally. Facts, because I see the gains. And I'm taking a mental note. And I'm seeing new traders get into the bag finally when that was hurting before, because they started to trust the process. Right? And I'm like, man, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I know, one of our Discord alone, our trading community, my brother Stock Guy, I know easily we pulled down over $200,000 together as a group in that Discord alone in this week. Over 200K. So again, you can't convince me ain't no money to be made in this. You cannot convince me that it's not. Right? And if you're afraid of money and you're afraid of opportunity, then you're in the wrong field. I'm sorry, you're in the wrong industry. We're here to, walk into financial freedom. We're here to better our families. We're here to better our futures. We're here to set some aside for our future generations. Simple as that. In the discussion, hands down. If that ain't your goal, your modus operandi, then I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. So again, so power and profit to you guys. Let me get out of here, guys. Again, I want to kind of hang out a little longer, but all right, the little guy up there, he calling. So that means they come get me. All right, so let me go get him. Get finish out the day a little bit, and hopefully again, when the eagle gets stationary, I may have a little bit of time to come back on, and we can go over a few more stocks. Obviously, especially watching the futures here open up here in the next 40, 50 minutes here, 50 minutes here before the futures open up. We're gonna see how the futures open up. I'm expecting the future to open up red, right? If it open up a little bit of green, I'm expecting it to go red before the day, before the day really gets to cracking on the back end of the day when all the other markets start to open up. I'm definitely thinking we're gonna open up a little red, possibly close to red. Because of how we closed out Friday. Again, watching how the SPY closed up, that was a telltale sign, even though it kind of retraced a little bit, that there's still a lot of weakness out there in the market to be expected going into next week. Because keep in mind, you see how the market's going to keep dumping right here before somebody turn around and try to buy this market up here. You had dead cat bounce above the bottom here, and then spike back up, right? Then pull back again, right? And then close somewhat okay, right? It kind of closed on a inverted hammer. Right, looking at the candle there, almost like an inverted hammer, right? If you're looking at that candle, if some of you guys know your candle pattern, and then after hour, it picked up a little a growth, but it closed out very weak. Look at that volume bar right there. That volume bar don't allow how the market closed off. That means there's a lot of indecisive people that left the market before the market closed. That big red candle right there. That's all I need to see, right? So I can see that all the stuff that happened after hours. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about all this right here that happened after hours. That's fugazi in comparison. This one little inverted hammer right here and this volume bar, how the market closed off right here. That's what I'm paying attention to. Right. This is just truth coming in and making them up when the cat, the rats run around when the cat leave the market. The cat left right here. The rats came out to play after the cat left. That's what this is all about. I ain't worried about all that. Right. I'm worried about this here and then that, and then in the news that came on the back end that may happen between yesterday and today, that may show weakness in the market. That may happen where the market may open up a little flat going into tomorrow. So again, just putting that out there. All right, so again, I'm gonna close out here, guys. Again, thank you guys for stopping by, hanging out with your brother, even for a little while. I know I was talking like a million miles an hour, excuse me. It's because I know I didn't have enough time to really break this stuff down. So I'm really trying to get a lot of information in on a little bit of time. That was a lot to me. I do appreciate you guys for hanging out again, and being able to kind of cipher some of the stuff I was talking about. And again, hopefully I get a chance to come on a little bit later again after the market opens up, the futures that is, and explain some of that, what we're seeing is some of the Govers, or maybe a few more other stocks too. If not, y'all know what I do. Y'all see me in the Discord rooms. Y'all see me on Twitter, Stocks, wherever, posting some more information like I always do. Again, there's no days off for me. Y'all know I am. I'm always studying the market. I'm always looking at assets. I take no days off. I go fishing. I'm looking at some charts sometimes. Right, I'm out with the family a little bit. I hate to say that, in between our destination, I'm looking at charts if I'm not driving. Right, I'm always studying because again, I'm looking for the bag. I'm looking for financial freedom. I'm looking for ways to help other people like me that think know that they're ready for this next level in their life to hit and succeed on their goals. And that's a sacrifice I'm willing to give. If somebody is willing to understand that, let's do this thing together. Let's go to war. Right, I need battle compadres. I don't need on the sideline watchers. I want battle compadres. All right, let's go get this thing. And I'm a veteran, so I already come from that mentality a little bit. So again, I'm looking for I'm looking for foxhole buddies, so to speak. Right, let's go to war. Right, against this market. Right, against the market makers. Right, against the big global powerhouse investors out there and hedge funders. Let's go to war and let's get this bag and take care of our bills and our families. All right. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna get out of here and close out for the minute here. And hopefully I get a chance to come back on and break down some more stocks in mind that you guys may have that you're looking at going into tomorrow. Maybe go over a little crypto as well, whatever. But we're gonna stay the course and stay the fight. And we're gonna start to the last dollar coming, hit our bank account. Simple as that. To the last dollar hit our bank account, not leave, but hit our bank account. We're gonna break the bank. That's my mentality. Let's break the bank. Let's break this market. Let's break this $5.7 trillion that's made daily. Let's break some of that. Let's get some of that. Right, simple as that. All right. So guys, I get with you guys later. Power and profit to y'all and your family. Uncle Johnson Neb, and we'll finish up again. Hopefully a little later this afternoon. If not, I'll just post some stocks. As you can see, it's getting a little dark. It's about to rain. It actually just started raining. I got my blinds up, well, my curtains open, and close them off and get upstairs here. All right, guys, power and profit. We'll holler at you guys on the flip side. Peace, family.